Iowa history is so important, and history in general is so important because it tells us our stories. It gives us a sense of who we are, what we've achieved, and what we can continue to achieve. And so when we look at these stories of Iowa, we begin to see the complexity of how people are building their communities, how they're engaging, and how these things have changed over time. So I think that's really inspirational. And when we begin to broaden out Iowa history, it gives people who have not often been seen in these histories a purchase and a claim to this state that they're often denied, of building it and creating it and maintaining the state and the identity that we know. So that's always my hope for history, is that it changes how people perceive and understand something that they've always thought to know. And through that expansion, we can be more inclusive and more accepting of the different people in our environment.
One of the words that gets, one of the labels that gets applied to Iowa is that it's kind of dull or average. I don't think there's anything dull about Iowa history. I don't think there's anything average. I think it's unique and it's contested, and there's lots of fireworks.
Iowa is wonderfully representative of the Midwest. And the Midwest is what Americans like to think of themselves as. It's the heartland, place of small towns and little league and one-room schools. I was a Fulbright scholar in China when Branstad was the ambassador. So everywhere I went, everybody knew, oh, Iowa, Branstad. And so I gave talks in Iowa, in China. And students had asked me, why is Iowa important? Well, Iowa is a way to get at understanding the United States.
Everything surprises me. I mean, even just how I came across this, the research that I'm doing, I didn't know that Iowans participated in the abolitionist work. I didn't know that Iowa had an all-black regiment. I didn't know that Iowans participated in colored conventions, which was a really important movement that helped to fight for civil rights for black people, not just in Iowa, but throughout the country. So every day I'm finding new things that surprise me and amaze me and make me love the history of Iowa even more.
I think in this moment we're all looking for the interesting story, the important story, the story that links the history of Iowa to the big picture, or the way in which the Iowa story helps us to understand that big picture. And there are a lot of really good stories. I mean, the problem with looking at everything from 30,000 feet is that you miss out on the texture, you miss out on the detail, you miss the people, the places, the moments that really make history come alive for your average reader.